What's up, everybody? My name is Marco. I'm a former pro opera singer, and I love talking about video game music from an emotional perspective after a decade plus on the stage. I am a colossal and massive Ace Combat fan, and we are barreling forward to Ace Combat 8, Wings of Theve. Let's dive into this main theme for Ace Combat 8. We'll talk about the Latin lyrics, and here we go. I love how that starts, by the way. Like the sun. And like there's like an optimism in this, you know? But I love the adrenaline pulsating momentum in that. I'm not gonna talk too much. Slightly under pitch there, not a big deal, but just something I noticed. It still works though. I love how this is a giant build-up. And it's the brass that are really sending it home. The low brass, the trombones back here. Of course, you got the electric guitar. We got that classic Latin usage, of course. Ugh. You know what's cool? What's amazing to me about this whole thing is the fact that, you know, do I think that like the Daredevil motif is somewhat better than this? Yeah, I think so. I think I like Daredevil slightly more than that. But what I love about it is that it's like, okay, well, pick your poison. Journey Home, Zero, Megalith Unused Day, this, Daredevil, dual wielder, like they're all good. Like there's no like bad music in this. But I wanted to more importantly check out this is the first time I'm seeing this with the actual Latin lyrics. So let's take a look at break down this section. First of all, I think overall what's really interesting to me about this theme is the fact that it feels so much more pointed at us, you know, right? Like the hero. So often, well, really, it's interesting because this is probably maybe, I wouldn't say the first time, but I think it actually might be the first time though that we've had like a song that is very specifically lyrical, pointed at the player character, and pointed at like the player themselves. Like if you think about it, like Journey Home or Faceless Soldier, or I don't know, I'm trying to think of some other vocal tracks. Like well, even Daredevil, really, those are more about a circumstance. And while we as a player will feel some sort of way by those, whether it's energized or, tense or what have you, we've never had a main theme that is specific to us and for us. And I think in this case, if you really just note the lyrics, obviously we still get that sense of the sort of amazement or wonder as we float through the sky and fly through the sky. You also have that first opening section that's really chunky, and it feels like we're launching forward. But it's interesting because take a look at this. Right? So it kind of comes out of nowhere and it just goes right into it. It keeps that momentum and that buoyancy and that rhythm, but she goes riding the endless sky, right? It's like the sky is out there. The sky is big. And so what we do is we lean into sky and make it quite large. Riding the endless sky, right? Sky, long, sky, a lot of sky above us. And so sky ends up being a long held note, which is really fun. And that's also a really interesting gesture too, with the sunrise caught on his wings, right? So the thing that I find interesting about this is his is the pronoun, with the sunrise caught on his wings, right? So it goes up in pitch, his wings being the focal point of the sentence, with the sunrise caught in his wings, right? It's like saying oh my God, his wings freed us, right? There's like a delicacy in it, on his wings. So beautiful. Again, air held out, no one touches him in the air. He commands every roaring storm. See, it's very on the nose. It's very interesting. It's very on the nose, He commands every storm. He's riding on the wind, blah, 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 blah. It's all very again, like I mentioned earlier, the words are very specific about heroicism and about that feeling of triumph, right? And that feeling of being a savior. And then it resets, and it's interesting how the lyrics change the way it feels. And even that, right? So he takes care of the ones that call. You see how if it was any other way, he takes care of the ones that come. You hear how if we went up, he takes care of the ones that call. You hear how those two different extremes sound different than, he takes care of the ones that call. It's basically the same note. He takes care of the ones that call. We just reset. Ba 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 beep ba 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 ba. We go back to the original focal tonal point of this, and it becomes its own little almost like a parentheses, which is kind of interesting. And that doesn't, she's a great singer, so I'm not going to be pedantic about it, but that little corner actually kind of pulls me out slightly as a musician and as a singer, because I know what's happening there. Like a wind flowing far and wide, right? So we go up in pitch, like a wind flowing far and wide. It just dips slightly, which is not a huge deal because her tone is beautiful. She just kind of gets stuck. It's not even so much that it's flat. There's an idea of being flat in the resonance. So because she has a very resonant chamber, it has a nice warm chocolate color. And so what ends up happening is I think it kind of gets stuck back there because it's the only part of the song where she actually goes up into the upper register because it's kind of middly. So it's not a big deal. It's just something I hear. Far and wide. Also, it's also kind of hard to do that because you have the and the W and what, your mouth just. But then note this though, right? The timpani starts up, and then this is very measured, isn't it? Da 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 da, 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 right? But note, the thing that actually makes this so much more interesting is the horns. Listen to the way that the brass, the lower brass, the trombones specifically, take this bum, 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 bum. Note how they do this. Bum, 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 right? And then we add elements here. Da, 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 right? Like that's the spice right there. Goes up. And it's just building. It's a piece that's building us and launching us towards. Here we go. This part. The Latin. Ba, ba, right? And of course, like, this is the classic Ace Combat thing to do, to take like that Latin lyric and toss it into something pretty modern. Again, it's in a super measured way. But I had one of my Roosevelt, one of my patrons, posted these lyrics, and so it's certe per celum vola esto liber vote relicta in posterum serito viventus certe etera doma ubique o ubique vota relicta in posterum serito. Certainly, fly through the sky, be free, oh be free, so the vows left behind for the future become the wind. Certainly, master the heavens everywhere, oh everywhere, so the vows left behind for the future. And so again, it's not like other tracks, or maybe a more prominent track like a Zero. Well, a Zero doesn't count, but like a Megalith Agnus Dei, or a Soul Squadron, or an Alicorn Trio, or a Liberation of Grace Maria. Even that one that I wouldn't even call, but like, this isn't the, even though this is the main theme and we'll have that sense of, I think of like heroicism and stepping into destiny and being the savior of the people and so on and so forth. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be, even though it probably will be featured leitmotivically quite a bit. That's a word. I don't think leitmotivically is a word that exists, but I don't think this is going to be the main crux of the game's music, even though it will have featured moments. And I do think that it will be embellished upon, but there will probably be, as we've heard in some of these like little snippets, there's this one particular choral song, or a vocal song that I'm like floored by, that I can't wait to break down. But what I think is really interesting here is that, again, it's very measured and very intentioned. And the Latin is beautiful because the Latin kind of, in some ways, sends home this concept of embracing the new beginning of life, right? Esto liber, right? Tira, right? It's so beautiful. Liber, right? Relati posterum serito. And what do? We repeat it. In the wind of certainly. Doma, right? Ubi que, right? Serito. It's really pretty. Bah, bah. And then we got that little lift, which is so nice. Ba-ra-da-dee. And then it kind of slows down, right? It gets quiet, and it's almost like it invokes, the beginning of something new. And I find that really interesting and really, I don't know, quite charming. It's a beautiful little song, and at this point, I really don't think there's a bad song in Ace Combat, and it's just a question of taking your pick. There's so many main themes. You might have a preference for Zero. You might have a preference for, the main theme of Ace Combat 4 or Ace Combat 5 or Ace Combat 7 with that Daredevil motif, or this one, Ace Combat 8, which we still don't have the title for it, do we? I don't think we have the title for this one, but it's great. And I can't wait to see what Rex and this ragtag group of pilots get up to. It's just, a really exciting time to be an Ace Combat fan. And if you like this, there's lots of Ace Combat on the channel. Definitely check it out. If you want to join the Discord and chat Ace Combat, you can do that. If you want to join the Patreon and support the channel more directly, feel free to like, subscribe either way. Thanks a ton, and I'll see you later. Bye.